Breaking news. Kirk Gutman here with Holly Fetty.
Good evening, Kirk.
Good evening, Holly. It's come to our attention that the government would like to build a nuclear power plant in Grove City.
What makes it different than a regular power plant?
It's a good thing that you asked. Regular power plants burn fossil fuels, and they also boil water to get their steam, which then turns the turbines and produces electricity. However, nuclear power plants, they don't burn any of the fossil fuels or boil the water.
How does a nuclear power plant work?
Another good question. As a substitute to burning things, nuclear plants use uranium fuel to produce electricity through a process called fission. The splitting in the atoms causes the heat, which produces the steam. The steam then goes into the turbine, which turns it and produces the electricity.
Oh.
You got it now?
Yeah.
Alright, now to Autumn with how nuclear fission works.
Thanks, Kirk and Holly. Nuclear fission works by one atom splitting into two separate atoms releasing energy. This happens by a neutron hits the nucleus of an atom, and the nucleus of an atom splits into a smaller nuclei and neutrons. The mass of the split nuclei and neutrons is less than the original mass because part of the mass is released into the form of energy. The cycle repeats due to the neutrons released. Now back to the anchors.
Thank you, Autumn.
That was a good intake on how nuclear fission works. Now over to Emily with the advantages.
Thanks, Kirk. So, using nuclear power reduces the amount of energy generated from fossil fuels, and reducing these fossil fuels benefits global warming and climate change. Also, the electricity to power this plant is relatively cheap and takes less fuel. Now let's take it to Autumn Hawkins with the disadvantages.
Thanks, Emily. But unfortunately, nuclear power has many disadvantages. One being, eliminating nuclear waste takes many years to do. Another is that nuclear power is uncontrollable, so if there was to be a system fail, it would cause a radioactive explosion that would be impossible to contain. An example of that is Chernobyl. It can also be a hot target for terrorist organizations. Along with this, it's very expensive to build and has non-renewable energy. Now let's take it back to the anchors for their opinions.
Thank you for your report on the disadvantages, Autumn, and I must say that I do agree with you and that the advantages are not that great. I would hate for the nuclear power plant and its systems to quit operating and to explode all of us, and therefore leaving us dead.
I agree. What do you think? Share your opinion on our Facebook page. Thank you and good night.